Hello everybody, great to see you. Welcome to Beatle Brad's channel. Great to see you. Thank you very much for tuning in. And today we've got something we're talking about. Today is August 29th, 2018. So you're saying, okay, you know the date, great. Thanks for watching, see y'all later. That was it, that's the end of the video. Just kidding. Actually, today in 1966, on this day, like I said, August 29th, 1966, the Beatles performed for the very last time at Candlestick Park in America. So, to celebrate that, I'm going to show some of the things I've got to give you guys some thoughts and suggestions about what to buy and what kind of goodies and all kinds of things that are out there for Candlestick Park. So, we definitely will have some fun talking about that. But first off, let me tell you a little bit of facts. The capacity of Candlestick Park holds 41,000 people. And at the time when the Beatles were there, they sold out and they only had 21,000. So this was starting to get towards the end of Beatlemania. The Beatles themselves were getting very, very tired of touring. Let me set this up because a lot of you don't know, or a lot of you do know, actually. A lot of you do know this, so just bear with me. But the Beatles got very tired of touring. Actually, they have been on tour for 4 years at this point, from 64 to 66. And just grueling years of being, actually longer than that. If you really consider they did a lot of touring in 63 as well. So terrible, just crazy to think that you're on the road, you've got albums to produce, you've got to come up with new songs, you've got interviews and concerts, all that spanned. And so by the time they get to 66, the Beatles are worn out completely. I mean, they've met everybody, they've done everything, and they're absolutely just worn out. So Candlestick Park was a unique and a very, very rare concert. And not a lot of people have talked about Candlestick Park. I'm trying to figure out where to set this down. Not too many people have chatted about it, but to start off with, this is a reproduction poster of the concert itself, or the, like I said, it's a reproduction of it, of the poster. And back here, these are all my tickets of different concerts and stuff like that. If you look right here, there's my Candlestick Park ticket, which is right here. And this is a reproduction. This is not an original. So some of these are real ones and some are fake. And this one is we call them fake reproductions. And at the time, in 1966, the tickets were $4.50. Oh my goodness, the Beatles are stealing us blind. The cost of tickets went up. So that's why a lot of people didn't go to the concerts, because it was $4.50. Service charge doesn't even come close to covering that today. Back then there wasn't even a service charge. Shows kind of how long ago that was. But for the longest time, in 1966, when Candlestick Park, when they did their last concert, it was just, I've got pictures to show you, I've got video stuff that I won't be able to show you, but we'll skim through and try and do the best I can in showing you what I can and can't show you. At the time, this was, I messed that up, cover here. At the time, this was really the only video out, and this was on VHS for those of us in America. The complete Beatles. Some of you may remember this. I've transferred mine onto DVD, but you'll probably remember the VHS, and some of you won't have a clue to what this was. This was kind of like the first attempt of making a Beatles anthology. And there's just a snippet in there of Candlestick Park. So that's why I'm mentioning that, of Candlestick Park. And then this has got another DVD. This is actually pretty good, of some Candlestick Park stuff in there. Candlestick Park stuff was always very, very hard to find in pictures. There were some more pictures than there were video. Video was extremely hard to find. This is a fairly recent book. There were 2 volumes. There was a 64 and 65, and then there's this one, which is nice size book. And this is the 65 and 66 edition. But let me show you, there's some terrific pictures in here of Candlestick Park. There's some here. And a little bit of paperwork showing you Candlestick Park, a little bit of paperwork. Also the ticket that I showed you down below here. There was a picture over here on the other side I showed you of that. This concert was crazy. Absolutely crazy. The fans were running out onto stage. They had to stop the concert several times. Girls were running out onto the field. They were tackling, the police officers were tackling girls. As John said, it wasn't a concert. It was just as John said, they walked out onto the field, and it was just wah. He said, you couldn't hear anything, nothing at all. He said it was just a complete show. And it was so noisy, so noisy that John said they couldn't hear themselves, and they felt like circus freaks in lots of ways. Paul McCartney said that they couldn't be heard, and it was just terrible audio. It was all just really bad microphones and all of that as well. This is a great book. If you want to get a nice book, it's a paperback edition, so it has come down in price. So the hardbound edition was quite a pricey one to get, but it did come down. And then this is a video, and now I've transferred to DVD. It's pretty much Candlestick Park. And it's got a little bit of an interview with the Beatles themselves. It's got newsreels from newsreels back then. It's got footage, live video footage of them. It's got a lot of the concerts that are complete. And as we just now are watching, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who watched my video last one, because here comes Mr. Bentley to come say hello, but he's not going to be in the video. He's down too low. He's just now lying down. So, but Bentley says hello to everybody. And I'm glad you liked the video with Bentley in it as well. So back what I was saying, Paul thought it was a very poor thing. Just horrible. Paul didn't like it at all. The sound quality. At that time, Revolver just came out. So there wasn't really too much about Revolver. They were having a horrible time trying to reproduce on stage what they were starting to get into. By the time they were into Rubber Soul and Revolver, and just on the skirts of getting ready for Pepper, they couldn't reproduce that anymore. So Ringo said Ringo basically said he felt like he played like bleep, 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 and didn't like playing. And he said it was just a filler to fill in some time. And it was so crazy that they brought the Beatles in with an armored truck, and they took them out with an armored truck. So they had one of these armored trucks that you put money in, and that's what the Beatles went in and out of, was the armored truck. Here's another DVD that I've gotten. It's got some more Candlestick Park stuff. So to imagine that this is a great book. I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures out of this book. If you're looking for a good Beatle book, this is a definite one for Candlestick Park. And yeah, pretty much Candlestick Park, really. So, alrighty. I'll show you some of the dates and stuff over here. Bottom there, you can see Candlestick Park there. So the Beatles themselves were not happy at all with the concert. They really felt just like they all played lousy. And at this time, they're still playing, the Beatles are still playing just 30-minute concerts. So, you know, can you imagine? Here we are in the Beatles times, and that's what's being played is just 30-minute concerts, 25, 30 and through there. Today, opening bands have longer. They played in a baseball stadium, and they played in the center field there, as you can see. So there was plenty of room to run around for the girls. And George basically just could care less about the concert. George kind of slumped back in his chair, and after the concert was over, and kind of said, "Great, I'm no longer a Beatle." Because he felt as if he was really under contract and couldn't begin to enjoy himself anymore. So he really felt as if he was stuck being a Beatle and being in concert. And a celebrity who went to go see the Beatles. I gotta move along here. I'm kind of being slow. So the four of them did not like it at all. I know I'm kind of rambling on about how they didn't like it, but they really just... I couldn't imagine if the Beatles did perform more, but back then, the equipment just couldn't handle what we've got today. Our equipment of what we show and what we've got is just so much better than what's out there years ago. And that was probably the big problem was, you know, they couldn't be heard. Nobody could enjoy them. They really were not being heard anymore. It was more of a happening just to show up and hear the Beatles. People were screaming and passing out, and they really weren't hearing the Beatles anymore. They felt as if their music was getting lost. I mean, they were musicians, but they were feeling as if they weren't musicians anymore. That the Beatles themselves were turning into almost like circus freaks. So in lots of ways, they really, I mean, here you can see some of the crowds running away from the police and all that kind of stuff. I could show a lot more, but I'll leave that one to be. Then this is a CD of the whole concert. This is very good. The sound quality of any Candlestick Park you find, vinyl, CD, anything you'll find is not the best quality. It was never really that good of sound quality to begin with. There was talk of this concert to be released legit-wise, and tapes have gotten lost, and Mel Evans was supposed to record it at the time, and George, you know, asked him for it, and things got lost in situations and all that kind of stuff, and so it never got released, but it should be released as a CD. I don't know DVD-wise if it would really hold up, to tell you the truth, if people would be into it that much, because they'd have to do something else with it, because if it's only 30 minutes, I can't imagine people buying a 30-minute DVD. You'd have to have some other stuff to go with it. This is the Beatles anthology. When this came out, this is okay. They have just a little bit more than I showed you than the complete Beatles, the first one. The Beatles anthology has a little bit more on Candlestick Park, but it's pretty sad too. It doesn't really cover it. And I don't know why. A lot of people really felt as if that was just the tour. So it was just part of the tour. You know, as I showed you earlier in the lineup, you saw the lineup of all the concerts. 66 was the last one for Candlestick. And everybody just, you know, it's another concert. So everybody was getting, you know, kind of burned out with it and all that kind of stuff. This is the 1966 Beatles tour program. This is the actual Beatles tour program that you could buy when you're at the concert. So pretty darn cool. Like I said, there's the ticket. So here's the program. All the pictures are in black and white. Nothing is in color except the front cover, which is a fantastic front cover. Really think that's cool. Did you get a picture of that? Did you get to see that all right? The front cover there? Isn't that cool? Yeah, I just love it. Great picture. Great shots we're getting of George. So Candlestick is a very much of a historical, fantastic concert, but is something that is kind of lost in Beatle discussions, kind of lost in the Beatle world of stuff. I'm not going to show you all the pages of these. There's a lot more to show you, but I like this picture a lot. That's kind of a rare picture. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to show you too much more of that because I'm kind of rambling on. Back in the days, when in magazines you get advertisements. Kind of great. So Candlestick Park, wow. Very historical, very cool. And then I've got a special edition, which is the, this DVD is the unedited version. This is like the director's cut. Each one of these is a 2 DVD set. This is just one of them. This isn't the whole. This isn't the whole thing. It's many DVDs, but they're on there. There's a lot on this on Candlestick Park. This is excellent. The whole series of the Beatles anthology director's cut is the way to go. If you're a Beatles fan and you're looking for a little bit more deeper than, sorry about that, that's pretty loud, deeper than just a regular video, that's excellent. But if you want to go a little deeper, I've got another one for you. This is an actual very good. This is a bootleg also. I apologize, you won't be able to read it, but there's Candlestick Park and a lot of other good stuff on this DVD. This is from '66. This is two DVDs long. I'd love to show you some of this, but I would be flagged so quickly for showing DVD stuff or audio stuff. But this is excellent. This has got some fantastic good stuff. Also, we were treated, when the anthology came out, we were treated to the big book. And this is the hardbound book. And this is a picture of them coming out for Candlestick Park. That was great. And then just recently, if you have not seen this, 8 Days a Week. This is a fantastic documentary about the Beatles in concert by Ron Howard, and this was put out a couple years back. This is actually an awesome DVD. This has, for the first time ever shown, it has color footage of Candlestick Park in color that a person who was in the stands took themselves. So it was like home movies. So if you have not seen this, this is awesome. That's fantastic. So like I said, 52 years ago today is the day that the Beatles performed for their very last concert in 1966. And also, I got a little other segment for you. I know it's kind of a long video. I apologize for being so long. Also, tomorrow, being August 30th, is the anniversary of the 45 of Hey Jude and Revolution coming out. So tomorrow will be the 50th anniversary of that. So pull out your 45s or hop on the internet like a lot of you are and go on YouTube and look up some Candlestick Park. I think you would really be surprised of how good it is. The video's crazy. Watching the girls getting past the police barriers and running through the crowd, or not crowd, but through the field, and the police are chasing them, and then the concert stops several times. I've got it on DVD, so I've seen it for years, but it's hilarious. I mean, today, that just wouldn't happen. you know, you get these little barriers up, and the police just, boom, they go right through the barriers. So, all right, everybody. Well, that was my segment, and I hope you enjoyed it. This is a little bit of a concert of the, yeah, let me move it up so they can talk. This is George talking, and this is them in concert at Candlestick Park. So I'm going to leave you with this. And as I say on my channel, I am out of here. Take care, everybody. Great to see you. See ya.